Welcome back. It's time to discuss common reasons why people commit to being alcohol-free. This is such an important part of this course, and it's such an important part of the journey if you're considering cutting alcohol from your life. I'll share my personal reasons, some of them, about why I made the decision to go alcohol-free. Perhaps you're experiencing some of the same things. Perhaps you can use this for motivation or as a springboard for ideas that you will write down shortly. So if I look back to November, December of 2019, I was overweight by about 40 pounds. I didn't sleep well at night whatsoever. I was feeling generally sad. I wasn't getting on that well with my partner at the time. I wasn't very engaged with my children and the daily routine. I just felt bored, and I was definitely depressed. So I knew that I was feeling this way. I knew that my clothes didn't fit. Yet I continued to go out during the holidays to every work event, to every social event, all of which included alcohol. But I knew at that time in my heart that I needed to change some of these things, some of my behavior, so that I could lose weight, so that I could sleep better, so that I wouldn't be so stressed, and so that I wouldn't be full of anxiety. So I made a mental note in November, December of 2019. And then on the 1st of January, just before the 1st of January, I made a real commitment. I knew that I was finally going to change my relationship with alcohol. At first, I thought it was going to be for a month, try January. But after about 3 weeks, I started to feel much better. And by the time the 30th of January rolled around, I knew that I was going to continue. I didn't know it was going to be forever, but then the benefits of stopping drinking really, really add up over time, and they get new and more interesting over time as well. So my reasons for stopping and really stopping my alcohol consumption was for myself. It sounds selfish, but I finally wanted to help myself feel better. And something clicked in my head. I had a feeling, and it became true, that if I changed these things for myself, that all of the other relationship issues, being more present for my children, would follow, and it did. So reason number one is I did this for myself so that I could just feel better, so that I wouldn't be fat and depressed. Hold that thought, because we'll come back to that. That's my transparency right there. When people ask me, why did you do it? Why did you stop drinking? I said, because I was feeling fat and depressed. So that's my short story. There's so much more to it. I'll elaborate more in some other sections. But let's talk about some other common whys, why people commit to not drinking. And then at the end of this section, I'm going to ask you to write this down for yourself. This is something that I reference still to this day. There are moments when you're going to want to look back and you're going to forget that things were challenging, and maybe you're going to want to have a glass of champagne or whatever it might be. I would encourage you to write down your whys, put them in a safe place so that you can reference them in the future. So some other reasons why. You might just simply be exhausted. You might just be really tired, and you might just be bored of the cycle. That's a big reason that I hear over and over. Once you are over 35, 40, hangovers are outrageously bad. They take days to recover from. And they also lead to tons of anxiety and worry. You've heard the term hangxiety. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So maybe you're just consumed with anxiety, worried about what you said in the past 10 years ago, worried about what you might have said last night, worrying about what lies ahead at work. So anxiety is another big reason. Work-related stress, every little thing, every little interaction with clients, with teammates, with managers might be stressing you out. So that's another real thing to be mindful of, and something that you'll be able to deal with much more easily once you cut alcohol from the equation. You might be suffering from overall poor health. Perhaps it's your weight, perhaps it's your blood pressure. And maybe it's a financial burden, going to the pub often or fueling an alcohol habit adds up. We can do some of the math together, but you can only imagine how, depending on where you live, £6 or $8 pint of your favorite craft beer, a £20 or $20 bottle of wine, these things definitely add up. So these are some common reasons. Please read the post below. I'd encourage you to comment below also on some of the reasons that you're willing to share. But more than anything else, write down your reasons why, something that you can reference in the future so that you'll always remember what you were feeling at this moment. You're going to feel so much better. And the mind has an interesting way of forgetting the really difficult part. So write it down so that you have it, so that you can always reference it. And this will be a wonderful starting point.